These are Lois Griffin's sexiest moments in Family Guy. We start off with an episode where when Lois unleashed her raw beauty, even a pastor was intrigued. You know, Lois Griffin has always been a little spicy, but in the episode And I'm Joyce Kinney, she didn't just turn up the heat, she set the whole house on fire. It all starts when Lois makes a new friend, Joyce Kinney, the fresh-faced news anchor in town. The two hit it off instantly over drinks, laughs, and some dangerously juicy conversation.
I'm sure you've done some crazy stuff in your time.
Well?
Oh, what is it?
No, I can't.
Lois, I feel like we're really bonding here tonight. Come on, let's hear it.
Well, I have had an abortion.
With the kind of calm that only a true bad girl can pull off, Lois reveals she once starred in an adult film back in her college days. You heard it right. America's favorite cartoon mom had her wild VHS moment. And just like that, the quietest woman in the room becomes the most unforgettable.
When I was in college, I was in an adult film.
Oh my God, you did a porno?
Boom. That is not just sexy, that is iconic. College Lois, in her prime, free-spirited, confident, probably rocking leg warmers and eyeliner so sharp it could cut glass, she did what half the internet does now, before Wi-Fi even existed. And of course, this was supposed to stay between them, but the next day, Joyce goes full TMZ.
Pornography has finally found its way to our neighborhood. Yes, local housewife and church organist Lois Griffin has revealed to this reporter that she appeared in a pornographic movie back in the early 1980s.
Lois trusted the wrong person. Rookie mistake. Turns out Joyce was not just being messy, she was being petty. She was executing a revenge plot decades in the making. And honestly, that just makes Lois even sexier, because apparently she was the kind of high school queen bee who left a lasting impression. The kind you never forget, no matter how many years or therapy sessions go by. So let's get this straight. Lois was hot enough in high school to traumatize people for decades, mysterious enough to keep a secret like this locked away, and bold enough to admit it to a brand new friend? That is some dangerously sexy history. But then comes the grand finale. Rather than run from her past, Lois walks into church, holds up the VHS tape, and hits play in front of the entire congregation. And while jaws drop all around, she just stands there looking powerful, poised, and dare we say it, kind of iconic. Even the pastor has to admit she pulled it off. Lois may not be perfect, but in this moment, she was untouchable. Owning your past like that, standing in front of a crowd and saying, yeah, that was me, that's not just brave, that's hot. And in case you were wondering, yes, she looked very sexy on that old tape. After Lois turned heads with her VHS bombshell, you might think that was her peak, but no. The next episode on our list proves she can be sexy without even trying. In the episode Big Man on Hippocampus, Lois does not need a camera to steal the spotlight. This time, she uses a nightgown, a wine glass, and just being effortlessly irresistible. It all begins with the Griffins appearing on Family Feud. Seems innocent, right? That's until Lois greets the host like she's been waiting her whole life to make a move, and she makes it. Boldly, passionately, and in front of her entire family. Peter barely has time to recover from that moment before he literally gets knocked out cold. One punch from the host, and suddenly, Peter has amnesia. He forgets who he is, where he is, and most importantly, who Lois is.
Mrs. Griffin, I'm afraid your husband has amnesia.
Oh my God, is it permanent?
Well, there's no telling for sure. His memory could return in days, weeks, years, or never.
Lois tries to remind him about his family by showing him home videos. She even tries to win him over again from scratch. Honestly, Lois seducing her own husband like it's their first date all over again is kind of romantic and unexpectedly hot. But Peter's brain is still scrambled, and his loyalty, let's just say it resets to factory settings. One minute, he's complimenting Lois's body like a stranger, and the next, he's asking random women out in the supermarket. Lois finally reaches her breaking point. She packs up the kids and moves out, but even when heartbroken, she doesn't crumble. Instead, she finds emotional backup in someone who has always been nearby and very available.
Lois, oh my gosh, hi!
Oh, hi, Quagmire. What a surprise.
I know, right?
Peter and I aren't together anymore.
Why?
Oh, it's a long story. You don't want to hear about it.
Oh, shut your face. I want to hear all about it. But listen, I got all this shopping to do, so you want to stop by tomorrow night? I'll just whip something up.
Well, sure. That sounds nice, Glenn.
After agreeing to go out with him, Quagmire sets the scene with all the classics: dim lighting, smooth talk, and just enough wine to blur the line between comfort and chemistry. And Lois, she's not exactly pushing back. What follows is, well, exactly what you expect. A soft touch, a nightgown that appeared out of nowhere, and Lois looking just the right amount of flustered. Let's pause here, because we need to address the nightgown. Where did it come from? Was she already wearing it under her clothes? Did she bring it in a purse? Or, and this is very likely, does Quagmire just keep one handy in every size? Honestly, knowing him, that's probably it. And right there, in a quiet moment in the bed, Lois leans into the arms of Quagmire, the man who has been not so secretly obsessed with her since day one. She looks soft, sultry, and just vulnerable enough to break a few hearts.
I mean, it's a little strange, but if Peter's never coming back to me, it's at least nice to know I'm in the arms of a trusted friend.
You trust me? Uh-oh.
Now, whether this was about comfort, curiosity, or just needing a shoulder to lean on, Lois does it all with a kind of quiet allure that sneaks up on you. There are no grand declarations, no steamy speeches, just a whisper of silk, a flicker of candlelight, and the woman who never loses her power, even when her life is falling apart. And then, just before anything official happens, Peter comes crashing back in with his memory restored, love reignited, and ready to reclaim his place.
Lois!
Peter? What are you doing here?
I got my memory back, and I love you, Lois. I want you and the kids back. I want our old life back.
I don't believe it. Sweetheart, it's you. You're back.
The timing might have been pure chaos, but Lois never looked more captivating than she did in that brief moment between heartache and decision. She's not just the glue of the family, she's the flame, and even when it flickers, she makes sure it burns hot. Lois Griffin might be a mom, a wife, and occasionally a bit unhinged, but in the episode Go Stewie Go, she also reminds us that when she wants something, she knows exactly how to get it. Peter kicks off the episode by roasting Lois over one gray hair.
Lois, you have a gray hair.
What?
1.5 inches lefty apart.
Oh my God, you're right.
I don't mind so much that you're aging. It's just the way you're shoving it down my throat.
Screw you, Peter.
Not today. Wow!
Now, if Peter wanted to push Lois straight into someone else's arms, this was a great start, but he probably didn't expect that someone to be their teenage daughter's boyfriend, because just minutes later, Meg brings home Anthony, and for once, the guy is not a creep, not a weirdo, and not allergic to sunlight. In fact, he's kinda hot.
He seems to be completely normal.
Yeah, even Dr. Hartman is impressed, and that's saying something. Now, Anthony does charm the whole family, but there is one person who is particularly more impressed by him. Unlike Peter, Anthony compliments Lois and makes her feel young. He doesn't say MILF, but he may as well have. And Lois, she eats it up. Peter's sitting right there, and this high school kid is practically driving his wife crazy, and she's not exactly resisting. In fact, she starts seeing herself differently, not as an aging housewife, but as a woman who could still turn heads.
I bet you taste like Mountain Dew and Starburst.
She's imagining what he tastes like. Not metaphorically, but literally. Starburst and Mountain Dew. That's not just attraction, that's desire. It's bold, it's messy, and it's sexy in a way that only Family Guy would dare to show. And once Bonnie tells her it's healthy to explore her sexuality, game over. Lois starts scheming.
Hi, Anthony.
Hi, Mrs. Griffin.
We've enjoyed having you around so much lately, so we got a little welcome to the family present for you. By the way, Meg, I forgot to tell you, your grandfather needs you to pick him up at the airport.
The classic get her out of the house move. Anthony offers to tag along, but Lois shuts that down. She wants him there with her alone. And when the door closes behind Meg, she leans in slow, confident. This is not a mistake, it's a move. It's wrong, wildly wrong, but in that moment, Lois is not acting like a mom or a wife. She's acting like a woman who knows she can still get the guy, and she does. Until Meg walks in. Yeah, that part is less sexy? Lois tries to explain, but it only gets more brutal. Still trying to prove she's desirable, even to her daughter. And Meg claps back hard, painting a picture of what she and Anthony do together that burns itself into your brain forever. And she wins the argument. In the end, Lois goes to Peter, ashamed, but not exactly remorseful. She blames him for making her feel unwanted. And while that is not an excuse, it is real. Peter, for once, drops the jokes and admits what we have all known forever.
You've been making me feel old and fat and unattractive and worthless. How do you expect me to respond?
Lois, I think you're the most beautiful woman I ever seen in my life.
Because she always was. They make up, the crisis passes, but for a brief moment, Lois Griffin reminded us that beneath the mom jeans and sarcasm, she can still pull young, attractive men. Lois wasn't just feeling herself in this next episode, she was literally serving it. In the episode, Lois comes out of her shell, she goes from mom mode to full-blown wild teenager. And honestly, she kinda pulls it off. It all starts on her 43rd birthday. The house is full of balloons, friends, and family. But as usual, Peter has something less festive for her. The reminder that her wild years might be behind her.
Lois, you may not be the young filly you were when I met you, but you're still my reliable old plow horse who's there each day to pull the plow, to help around the barn, and let the husband horse slap a batch into her now and then. Well, I guess that's it. I love you, sweetheart.
The party ends in tears, and Lois doesn't even come to bed that night. But when she returns the next morning, she's not the same woman. She's dressed younger, talking differently, and has that chaotic glow of someone who just got their groove back at the mall. Now that is one sexy woman. However, Brian calls it a midlife crisis. Peter calls it a traumatic brain injury. Either way, Lois is hot and wild now, and Peter is very into it. From there, things only get wilder. Lois wants adventure. She wants energy. She wants chaos. And above all, she wants attention. That means partying, dancing, making questionable choices, and dragging Peter along for the ride. But Lois isn't just acting young, she's looking the part too. Crop tops, heels, fresh makeup, fake tattoos, she's literally pulling it off. You would never guess she has 3 kids and a talking dog back home. And Peter, he's running on fumes. So Peter goes home, but that's when he sees something that makes him panic. Lois at a Justin Bieber concert, losing her mind like a teenage fangirl. At this point, Lois is practically glowing. Youthful energy, makeup flawless, body moving like she is 25 again. And she knows it. She has swagger, confidence, and that very specific kind of power that makes security guards second guess their training.
Sorry, you're not allowed in here.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not into that.
Oh, well, what are you into?
Pinkberry. I love my job. Yum, 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 yum.
Well, that was an odd request. Anyway, Lois finally gets to Justin, and she is laying it on thick. Flirty, confident, and fully convinced she can seduce an 18-year-old pop star. Legally, not a crime. Morally, well, Peter barges in right before things go too far, because of course he does. And even though he is partially to blame for pushing Lois to change, he shuts the whole thing down with punches and a demand to start acting your age.
Look, I swear, nothing happened. Just relax, old man.
Old man? What, you think you're not gonna get old, you little bastard? And Lois, I've had enough of you too. Now you come home and start acting your age.
Back at home, the truth comes out. Lois wasn't trying to betray Peter. She just wanted to feel desirable again. She went to crazy lengths to feel sexy, to feel young, and to feel seen. In the end, Peter realizes what he should have from the start. Lois is still sexy, always has been, but she should not have to turn into a walking Instagram filter to get his attention. Yes, she went too far, but when Lois is on a mission to feel good in her skin, she doesn't hold back. In heels, crop tops, and a chaotic glow stick glow, she reminded everyone she is still hot even at 43. Lois doesn't just enjoy attention, she thrives on it. And in the episode A Wife-Changing Experience, she takes it to a whole new level when she finds herself turning on her husband's best friend, Joe. The episode starts with Peter and Lois being honored at a fancy penthouse for their anniversary. Carter even gifts them a new car. Well, sort of. It's more of a glorified golf cart. Peter's not impressed, but Lois seems to enjoy the gesture. Later, Lois heads to the bathroom to change, but that's when Joe accidentally rolls in and catches a full view of her naked. Lois shouts for him to leave, but the damage is done, and it was effective. Joe stumbles out apologizing, clearly shaken or intrigued by what he saw. A little too stirred, because that night, Bonnie has a very exciting update. Bonnie says Joe was suddenly able to achieve manhood for the first time in nearly a decade. Lois is shocked and a little flattered, maybe too flattered. Lois starts thinking Joe's newfound excitement came from seeing her, and when she catches Joe peeking through the window while she's cleaning dog poop off of her shoes, well, she doesn't stop. In fact, she leans into it. Even in dirty sneakers, Lois manages to make a simple task weirdly sexy. Joe is hooked, and Bonnie suddenly feeling blessed. Lois, of course, tries to reconnect with Peter too, but he brushes her off. She's forced to focus on a new admirer now, and he's giving her the kind of attention she's been missing. Things escalate when Quagmire notices what's going on, and if Quagmire thinks it's going too far, you know it's officially weird. Quagmire tells Peter that Lois has been flaunting herself in the front yard, clearly putting on a show for Joe, and Peter decides it's time to step in.
Damn it. I'll teach Joe to ogle my wife.
Oh, hey, Peter. What are you clenching in that fist there?
Lois admits she's been playing it up, but she claims it was never about cheating, she just wanted to feel sexy again, and Joe gave her that, even if it was by accident. Peter, he's not buying it. He thinks she is embarrassing herself in front of the neighborhood, but Lois holds her ground. She says maybe two things can be true. Maybe she helped Joe and helped herself too. Then she takes things even further. Lois goes full glam and shows up at Joe's house ready for one final performance. But Joe, surprisingly, turns her down. He tells her he can't do that to Peter. Still, he thanks her for all she's done. And just when you think it's over, Lois finds a bigger mission. She announces that if she could do this for Joe, she could do it for a whole hospital wing of disabled veterans. That's right, Lois is fully committed to the cause of being hot for America. Unfortunately, the police aren't into her patriotism. She screams that she is a sexually desirable woman as she's being cuffed and taken away. In the end, Lois isn't a villain here. She's just a bored, beautiful housewife who still wants to feel wanted. And if Joe accidentally reawakens something in her, well, she was never going to waste the opportunity. Next on our list is the episode Lethal Weapons. It all starts when the peaceful streets of Quahog are suddenly invaded, not by criminals or aliens, but by something far worse. Leafers from New York. These loud, pushy tourists flood the town just to see the fall foliage, and Peter, he can't take it. Peter is instantly on high alert. He tries to escape, but it's already too late. The town is overrun, and that's when Lois, quietly simmering in the background, starts to find a new outlet for her own frustration. She joins Bonnie in a taijutsu class, and something inside her clicks. What begins as a relaxing martial arts activity quickly turns into something much more hot. Lois learns how to strike, flip, and dominate, and honestly, she is never sexier than when she steps in to defend Peter. Fresh from her karate classes and unleashing pure fury on a group of leafers, Lois goes full warrior mode. Her body is moving with fierce precision, her voice has authority, and she's not just protecting her man, she's owning the moment. Bonnie's watching with her jaw dropped. Quagmire is so intrigued by how hot Lois is that he ends up getting a little accident. But while Lois is turning heads, Peter is picking fights with random tourists. The problem? Lois's intensity is starting to rub off in all the wrong ways. She's no longer just defending her man, she's becoming the man. Peter looks exhausted. Stewie is terrified. And Lois, she's charging through the house with dominant energy and zero chill. Honestly, it's kind of scary and kind of amazing. Eventually, even Peter admits something's off. The family tries to step back and regroup. They go to a psychiatrist and try to calm things down. Role reversal, anger letters, therapy games, it all goes off the rails. The chaos keeps building, the insults get sharper, the voices get louder, and it becomes a full-on emotional brawl in the Griffin house. It all spirals until Brian pulls out the last resort, pills from his psychiatrist. But Lois isn't having it. She calls him out for choosing medication over self-control, and Peter, of course, fires back with a savage upper lip comment.
Now, my psychiatrist gave me these pills. They're mood elevators. I think they could help, even us out.
We're not taking pills. It's not natural.
Neither is bleaching the hair on your upper lip, Matt and Mo.
Give us the pills.
The the group breaks down and ends up taking Brian's mystery pills. They bond, they sing, they laugh. It all seems fine until Peter hits Lois. And just like that, the violence returns. Lois smacks Peter, Peter sobs, Chris cheers, Stewie points fingers, and Meg finally gets a moment to unleash her fury. This whole episode is packed with energy. Lois goes from wife to warrior, blending power, sex appeal, and chaos in a way that only she can. She's strong, dominant, and not afraid to throw punches for her man, literally. And after all that, the family comes to the most Griffin-like conclusion imaginable.
I'm glad we got that out of our systems.
I wonder what came over us.
Maybe people are just naturally violent.
I don't believe that. I think it's all the TV we watch. There's so much violence.
Yeah, TV is dangerous.
Blame it on television. Classic. Lethal Weapons is peak Family Guy. It's ridiculous, loud, and somehow still manages to show off just how amazing Lois is when she takes control. Whether she's in a karate outfit or her usual pants and blouse, there is no denying that Lois Griffin is a badass. We know Lois Griffin as a devoted mother of 3, but apparently she can also model. We find out early in the episode Model Misbehavior that Lois was once offered a real modeling contract, but she was forced to turn it down thanks to her snobby, old money father. He didn't think modeling was appropriate for a Peter Schmidt.
Wow, Mom, were you a Miss Teen Rhode Island?
I sure was, Meg, when I was 16 years old. In fact, your mom was offered a modeling contract.
Really? Why didn't you take it?
Well, I wanted to, but your grandfather wouldn't let me.
That one photo, let's just say it leaves the family stunned. And honestly, it's easy to see why. Lois looked like a total dime, and she still does. The Griffins are challenged by Carter to a water race, and by sheer change and defiance, they win it. Let's just say Peter had his family take off some of their clothes to make their boat lighter and go faster. So when they win and their photo is snapped for the magazine, Lois appears extremely sexy and in stunning looks. And just like that, Lois sets her eyes on becoming a model. Her first gig is modeling for Goldman's Pharmacy, a role that instantly opens doors for her. Soon, she's meeting with a big-name agent and landing a professional photo shoot. She steps in front of that camera, and it's like she was made for it. Lights, camera, Lois. The glam, on point. The confidence, through the roof. Every click of the camera captures something different. Soft, strong, seductive, and Peter, he can't believe how hot his wife looks. Neither can anyone else. It's not just her looks, though. Lois carries herself with this bold energy. She walks into a room and people turn their heads. She knows who she is now, and she's not afraid to take up space. Even Peter starts getting a little too protective. The more attention Lois gets, the more jealous he becomes. And who could blame him? She's stealing the spotlight everywhere she goes. Peter asks Lois to quit modeling, but she refuses. That's probably because she's good at it. She's owning it. That's her moment. Sexy, radiant, and completely in charge. She's not just doing it for fame or validation, she's doing it because she can. Her modeling career takes off fast. Photo shoots, agencies, high praise, it's all happening. And the thing is, she makes it look effortless. Still, not everyone is cheering her on. Peter, feeling threatened and out of place, recruits Lois's father to try to end her career. And that's when things turn. But let's be honest, no matter what the men in her life think, Lois proves one thing loud and clear. She's still got it. She's bold, sexy, fearless, and not afraid to be seen. Whether she continues modeling or not, Lois walks away from this with more than a portfolio. She walks away with power and a reminder to everyone around her that she is far more than just Peter's wife. Peter Griffin isn't exactly known for his emotional maturity, so when Lois reconnects with an old boyfriend, jealousy kicks in hard. And before anyone can stop him, Peter turns a casual reunion into a full-blown meltdown. Things get so bad that they decide to go to a therapist. The result? A trial separation. Not exactly what either of them expected.
Boy, this feels really weird, Lois.
I know, but maybe the doctor's right. This time apart could be good for us.
Yeah, I don't know, Lois. Splitting up didn't work too well for Pac-Man and his wife.
For the first time in years, Peter and Lois go their separate ways. Peter crashes on friends' couches. Lois stays home trying to make sense of it all. Both are told to see other people. It sounds like therapy, but it feels more like chaos. Peter stumbles through awkward encounters and weird house guests. Meanwhile, Lois gets a knock at the door from someone she never expected to date. quagmire. Lois hesitates, but deep down, she knows it might be time to try something new. Still, if this is what the therapist ordered, she might as well try. And besides, she's looking stunning tonight. That signature red lipstick, that walk, that effortless confidence. Lois is sexy, self-aware, and handling this separation better than anyone thought. But things get complicated when Peter is set up on a date with none other than Jennifer Love Hewitt. And when Lois walks into that restaurant and sees Jennifer, she's smitten. It's clear that she likes Jennifer and even thinks she can get any man she wants, unaware that she's there with Peter. Her eyes lock on Peter, and she realizes he's the one taking Jennifer on a date. She sees the hand feeding her, and just like that, Lois gets jealous. Not out of insecurity, but out of fire. The kind of fire only a woman deeply in love feels when her man is being touched by someone else. In that moment, Lois isn't just a wife. She is a woman who wants what is hers. And make no mistake, Peter is hers.
Hold on, Toots. I don't care what our therapist says. I'm not gonna stand by and watch my husband lock lips with another woman. Now beat it!
It's bold, it's fierce, it's sexy. Lois lays into Jennifer with razor-sharp precision and enough passion to shake the whole room. She doesn't hold back, and she doesn't care who's watching. That scene, it's not just about jealousy. It's about loyalty, desire, that magnetic pull between two people who have been through everything and still feel that spark. Peter, stunned, finally sees the woman he married in full force again. Not the housewife, not the calm and collected mom, but the fierce, confident, beautiful woman who will fight for what matters. And right now, what matters is him. In the end, they don't need a therapist to tell them what they already knew. They belong together. Imperfect, emotional, sometimes ridiculous, but always undeniably drawn to each other. And Lois proves once again that sexy isn't just about looks, it's about passion, pride, and protecting the one you love. And there you have it. 8 moments where Lois Griffin proved she's the sexiest mom in town. Whether she's dancing, scheming, or defending her man, Lois brings the heat every single time. From suburban mom to total bombshell, she reminds us why Peter Griffin hit the jackpot.